it is the last of the tomato harvest. So it's almost November. Decided it was really time to pick these tomatoes. Now you can see obviously got some green ones. I'll use those as chutneys. There's a few of these little beefsteak ones that haven't come. And then a couple I've left on too long, as you can see here. They've gone a little bit wrinkly. But they'll be okay just to use, you know, in a sauce. I can easily sauce those up. So now I am just going to cut all of the vines down. They'll all got composted. Look, there's still flowers on them, but you know, nothing's going to happen now. And there are a few random tomatoes that aren't that great. You know, they've kind of got a bit mildewy. So I'm not going to take those. And there's a couple, oh, there's a green one. I missed this green one here. Let's take that off. Pop it back in there. But they've done fairly well. I think that's a nice big pot worth. Most of the red ones are on the bottom. There's just these few green ones. So let's put the greenhouse to bed. Well, today I'm down with my laying ladies and that one rooster, Skeksis. And everybody's feathering up really nicely. And actually, if you remember, Stumpy looked awful. But Stumpy's actually getting some neck feathers now as well. But look how pretty she looks now. She's got her full back feathers on and she's got some new tail feathers coming through. You're going to be pretty, aren't you? Yeah. So I'm just having a clear out in here. So as you saw last time, I was clearing all the old litter away. So this is the new litter. It's just a mix of straw and shavings. They do tend to kick it away from underneath the feeders, so I just bring it in and I just rake it over now and then, and that just helps kind of get the poop all mixed throughout. And then I've got to clean up here, because although I've got these perches where most of them do perch, 4 of them tend to perch on top of this nest box, so I'm just going to clear this off, make it nice and fresh. And there's a lady in here. Lay me an egg, please. Thank you. So the other day I was harvesting the last of the tomatoes and putting them to bed, and now I am harvesting the last of the peppers. So I've got 4 or 5 pepper plants here. They've still got some peppers on them, but it's going to just get too cold now. They're not producing any more flowers. So I'm going to harvest the rest of these peppers and store them. There's a nice big one here, look. They are green, but they're just not going to, it's too cold now and I don't want them to go mushy. And then I will chop all these peppers back and put them to bed. Let's just take them off. I love these chocolate peppers. I'm certainly going to do them again next year. And obviously, as I've talked about before, this is the size of the pot that I've had this year. So I've had too many pepper plants in too small pots. So next year I'm going to halve the quantities I grow, but I'm going to put them in bigger pots so I get more harvests off single plants. Well, I'm out in my porch, which is where I keep all my succulents, and actually they need a bit of a water. As you can see, they've really dried out. This one is actually flowering. I don't know if they're going to be that beautiful a flower, but it's kind of interesting. This one's got a nice new leaf coming out here. But what I'm really doing today is babies. So I've taken all these babies off and I just leave them in this pot until they start to develop roots. And you can see here it's got loads of roots and it's started to actually make a new plant. And then I have this little nursery pot and I literally just lie them on the soil, or in this case gravel actually, there's soil underneath there. And you can see this one's got roots, this has got roots. So I lie them there and then I just come out and I spray them. I don't water them, I just kind of mist them every few days. And then once they've taken, I'll then pop them up individually. I do find succulents, when I go to poultry sales and things, and I sell the poultry, I take plants as well, and I find that succulents are very in, and they sell really, really well. These little ones haven't done great. You can see the green colour's completely gone. They have got roots on them, look, but they should be this colour. But we'll see. I probably just haven't watered those ones enough. But today that's what I'm doing. I am propagating succulents to grow on and turn into nice big plants. So, it is D-Day for the last of the quails. So this was my last batch of quails. There are 14. They're all piling into some food. And we're going to dispatch the boys today, and possibly a couple of girls. Now, because it is winter and they're not in the breeding mating condition, they haven't got those glands that normally come up that secrete that white mucus, so you can tell who's boys. So I know this is a boy because of his cheek patches. And then this little one here who's eating, this is a boy from his cheek patches. This is a boy. But I don't know who else is a boy. So I want to probably, there's 14, I probably want to cull 4. So the other one's going to be a mix and match to see who we do. And then I'll be left with 10. So I'm going to keep 5 in here. And then I'm actually going to put 5 into the budgie run just to run around the floor. So that is the job today. Aren't they lovely? I've been keeping them in this rabbit crate. They actually have learned how to drink from the rabbit feeder here, rabbit drinker, which is really, really good. Obviously, it has been a complete mess, so it helps if you've got wooden floors. But that is the job today, saying goodbye to some little boys. So I am super lucky that a lot of my gardening clients allow me to scrounge fruit that would ordinarily just be dropped on the ground, attract wasps and go rotten and things. So this week I have been scrumping for apples. So I've got all of these apples in here. So these are cooking apples. Now I'm not a good cook, so I'm literally just going to stew these. You can see that there are some spots of bruising that have turned into kind of rot, but I can cut those out. So I'm basically just going to peel, core, and then stew them and put them all in the fridge. I mean, there's some good size ones here. That's a good apple, and I hate seeing fruit go to waste. I'm not a cook. I don't really know what to do with these things, but if I can just keep them in their base form, so just as stewed apples, or I freeze dried blackberries earlier in the year, and I did some pears and plums as well. That's just a nice simple meal that I can just heat up, or I can make an apple pie with, or something like that. So I'm going to start cutting all these bits off. There's a bit of mould there, coring them, peeling them, and then putting them into the pan. So today, believe it or not, I am actually sowing seeds. So a couple of weeks ago, I put in some larkspur, nothing there, and some cornflowers. So the cornflowers are coming up. Now these are all hardy annuals, so if you start growing them now and then give them a little bit of protection over the winter, so these are outside at the moment, and I will put them in the greenhouse just to preserve them against any of the frosts and the snow. You'll get early flowers next year. So today I am putting in calendula, so marigolds. This is a citrus daisy. This is snow princess, and these are cosmos. So I've got my little cosmos seeds here. Done a bit of preparation. Ooh, is that everybody? That's them all. Let's just sprinkle them a bit wider. There we go. Cover them with a little bit of soil. And hey presto, so I'll do the rest with those marigolds. These will stay out here until the first frosts are due, just so that this is a really warm, sunny area just to get that germination started. It's not actually too late, as long as we still have a warm spell. And if it does get cold, I will put them in the conservatory just to warm up for a little while. And then when the first frost and snow is forecast, I'll pop them in the greenhouse. They'll sit there pretty much dormant. So, if we got a frost tomorrow, these would just stay like this. They wouldn't grow, but they wouldn't die either, as long as they were protected. And then early next year, they'll start growing as soon as that warm weather arrives. And then when it's mild, they can come out, and we'll get early flowers from all of these hardy annuals.